Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Back again with me, Dini Rizky Rayu from English Education Department of State Islamic University, Sunan Gunung Jati, Bandung. Well, it is my fourth video on my YouTube channel. Again, I'm going to talk about morphology again because as I told you before, I made this video in order to finish my morphology class tasks. Okay, so in this third video, I'm going to talk about affixation. So I think we are already talked a little bit about this affixation in my previous video. While here I'm going to talk more, I'm going to discuss with all of you more about this affixation. And also, as usual, I also bring my laptop to show my PowerPoint. Then without any further ado, let's start this discussion. Okay, so affixation, is there one of you already know about what affixation? No? Okay, I'm going to give you a definition about affixation first. Okay, here I will just read it for you. Affixation is in grammar a bound inflectional or derivational element such as a prefix, infix, suffix added to a base or stem to form a fresh stem or a different word. So that's what affixation definition in a simple way. Okay, so as I told you in the definition, because this affixation is a bond inflectional or derivational element such as a prefix, infix, or suffix added to base or stem to form a fresh stem or a different word. So actually affixation have a lot of kinds, have several kinds such as prefix, infix, suffix. So let's talk about prefix first. So prefix is one of kind of this affixation. So prefix is a letter or group of letters attached to the beginning of a word. So actually I already talked about this in my previous video. I think it is in my second video, I think. So prefix, because it's free, remember free means in the beginning, before the words, in the beginning of a word, so that partly indicates its meaning. Okay, I already talked about this in my previous video. For example, prefix a or an, usage for without, example a moral, an archery. Then another example is this, a prefix this, usage for away from or apart. The example is disconnect, disrespect, disown. Then over. The another example is over, usage for above, on top of, or superior. The example is overactive, overdropped, as also so many. Actually I have a lot of example here. Actually you can find the example on Google or on internet or in the book. Actually there are a lot of example of this prefix. So because I already talked too much or already talked much about this prefix on my previous video, then let's continue to the second one, is suffixes. Actually, also I already talked about this in my previous video, but actually to kindly remind you about this, I will just tell you the definition about suffix. So there is only one common suffix for adverbs, and it is ly. So there is only one common suffix for adverb, and there is always, such as quickly, uh, then beautifully, end up with ly. Adjective plus ly become adverb, and the ly is suffix. You know what I mean? You get what I mean? It is often added to adjectival suffixes, as in creative and creatively. So creative is actually an adjective, but plus ly become creatively, which is adverb, and that ly is suffix. You get it? Okay. So actually, this suffix have also several kinds. The first is noun ending. So it is ending with a noun. For example, ending el, al, usage, the act of doing or the state of. The example, betrayal or refusal. Then another example is uh, action, ateon, action, usage for action or process of or result of creation or reformation. So it's also a noun, so it's a noun ending. Also eng, having the quality of or gerund ending. For example, teaching, working. Then the another, actually I have a lot of example here, because the example you can you can easily find in internet. So you just search the example of suffix noun ending on internet. So let's move to the second kinds of suffix is verb endings, because it's verb endings, so it should become a verb. For example, ed, usage from forms the simple past and past participle of regular verbs. Example, walked plus ed become walked, or has walked. Then fy, usage cause to be or become. The example, beautify, liquefy. Then also as or es, ending of the first term of singular, walks plus as become walks, which is verb. Run plus as become runs, and also which is verb. Then you can also find another example in internet. So let's move to another kinds of suffix as adjective endings. So it should be an adjective. For example, able or bull, usage capable of or fit for or tending to, likely to. Example, trainable, flexible. Then another example is full, ful, full of, usage for full of or characterized by. Example, beauty, first full become beautiful, beauty first full become beautiful, and it's an adjective. Also eng, usage participle form as an adjective. Example, interesting, interest, plus eng, which is eng is a suffix, because it is in the end of the word, and it become adjective. Also, there are a lot of example of adjective endings, and you can easily find in internet. So let's move to Another kind of affixation. We already talked about prefix, suffix, and there is also infix. Infixes or is a word element, also a type of affix, of course, that can be inserted within the base form of a word rather than at its beginning or end to create a new word or intensify meaning. The process of interesting an inflict is called inflexation. So, example is fantastic education, Massachusetts, Philadelphia, Stella Gomez. Actually, there's also of example of this infix. Infix is a complex process with an elaborate set of restrictions. For instance, infixing doesn't happen just anywhere in the world. Not all intensifiers can be infixed either, and not all words can take an infix. It is quote from Cadbury, Blooming English, Observation and the Roots, Cultivation and Hybrids of the English Language, Cambridge University Press, 2004. That's the definition about infix. Then I already talked about the example. Then the infix get interest before the syllable that receive the most stress. So infix get insert, so infix appear before the syllable that receive the most stress, and it cannot be insert anywhere else in the word. So and infix cannot be like appear anywhere else in the word. So infix get appear before the syllable that receive the most stress. Okay. Another kind of affixation, also there is confixes. In the field of linguistics, the term confix refers to a specific type of affix. Confixes are composed of at least one prefix and one suffix, which are placed on either side of a root word. When a conflict is added to a root, a new meaning separate from the meaning of the root word by itself is created. So yeah, that's the definition about confixes. Then Indonesian often employs confixes to form verbs, form nouns. For example, one meaning of the word hantu is ghost. When the confix meng blah 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 I is added, the new word menghantui can be a verb that means to frighten or haunt. In a similar way, confixes can be used to form adjectives from verbs, as with lihat and kelihatan, which can mean see and visible respectively. So that's the example of Indonesian example. Next, another kind of affixation is suffixes. So linguistic, a suprasegmental feature distinguishes the meaning or grammatical function of one word or phrase from that of another. I stress thus, for example, between the noun conduct and the verb conduct. Okay. The last kind of this affixation is circumfixes. So circumfixes is an affix which has two parts. One placed at the start of a word and the other at the end. For example, a circumfix can be added the root The root word is adil, for example, or fair, to form keadilan or fairness, which is ke is prefix, adil is root, and is suffix. But actually it is circumfix because it becomes fairness. You know what I mean? So that's all my material about affixation that I already told to you. If there is a question, you can comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your kind attention. I hope this video can be useful for us, can be useful for you, and also it can be useful for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, I see you on another video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.